Hey everyone. Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be, ooh, good bless, salty, bitter. I mean, definitely alkaline or acidic, depending if we're drinking the Essentia. But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hi, you guys. Okay, we have committed, and therefore this is episode 2 of the season 4 of Love Is Blind. Okay, Love Is Blind, season 4, episode 2. It's birthday wishes. And I'll tell you, if you want to look beautiful on your birthday, you can use CeraVe, which this is non-sponsored, but was using it and wanted everyone to know. So, baby boos, um, I love this. It's a great season so far. What?
I'm so happy that you love it because it truly is a great season and almost every different in a way from every other season, but also kind of annoying difference. Like for the first time, we have like true villains. We've never had like a true villain
Yeah.
before.
Mm-hmm. I also, yeah. I have now gotten up to see the very tippity top of episode 5, and where we are now, I think the last 5 episodes just dropped. I haven't watched a single one. So, um, we obviously are going to do our due diligence, and we have copious notes to make sure that we only talk about this episode and not give any spoilers for like the ongoing journey. But just it's a little personal thing. Like I'm in episode 4, so this is episode 2. So we are still in the pods as we are, since it's only episode 2, as we start to kind of crystallize unions and of course some triangles, some love triangles. So as we left off episode 1, Tiffany fell asleep, babe, on Brett. Just like snoozy lose. I mean, she nappity napped. I mean, he was at that moment pouring out what seemed to be affection for her. But I'll tell you, and it might be the edits, but his conversation in the pods is always kind of vague and one-sided towards him. Like, and she's always kind of like reacting to how great he is. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. By far, he is the most handsome man on the whole series to me. So I want to hang my hat on him because looks are so important to me. We know that. But there's just something about the way that he connects in these pods that I just don't buy. But let me say this. So we wake up. Sorry, we and the next day. Sorry, it is episode 2, and Tiffany wakes up, and she wakes up by Chelsea and April running in, and they all have a good morning song. And instead of the morning song being na 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 na, it's what?
I just want to get your attention. Hey, it's 2010 and it's Usher. And she Chelsea starts to sing this, which makes me love Chelsea even more. At this point, I'm a Chelsea stan because she comes in singing Usher to Tiffany. And I don't know how long it is after she falls asleep on Brett, but she's like, and then Tiffany's like, I just want to get your attention. Like Tiffany immediately knows the song and is like, hey, 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 daddy, hey, and then hey, daddy. And I was like, oh my God, I love that song. And if you guys watched or listened to if you watched it, you were on patreon.com/docusweeties and you would have saw me talking to Chris about it and I couldn't remember the song. And then if you were listening to it, you would have seen it on wherever you listen to podcasts and you would have heard me talk about how Chelsea literally woke this girl up by saying, hey babe, hey babe, wake up. And Tiffany's like, no. But she's like, I just want to get your attention. And the Tiffany's like, up in your hair. And it's just the cutest moment between two girls who were like living their lives in 2010. And Tiffany wakes up and she's like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I can't believe I did that. Oh my God, I feel so bad. And then the next thing we have is Jacquelina's situationships with two guys, and that is Josh and Marshall. And editing lets us know that Marshall is Marshall all the way, right? Is there any celebrity, Chris, that you think Marshall looks like?
Oh, yeah. Oh God, I've been thinking he's so. Wait, he. Yes, there is, but I can't isolate who that is. But yes, he's very familiar looking. And you know why I was gonna say this, is just so we will talk about this. You have someone in your life that has this name, and I never hear this name, and so what? Like, it's like it's not a name that happens into my life a lot. It's one of those names where it's like I'm only like by 6 degrees of separation know of one, and it's yours.
Oh my god,
So
I
to
can't believe you remembered him.
so this person's name like came out and was like, oh, it's just like so specific. You know what? Is it like not like Lorenz Tate? It's like, let me think about who it is. You tell me.
You know what? So let's talk about the Marshall in my life. I have
Oh,
a Marshall
okay.
in my life who, like, I haven't really talked to since I lived in New York City, and it's because he put on Instagram once that he was a Trump supporter, and I had to let my good friend go.
Oh
But I
no.
mean, from like 2010 to 2015 or 16, that was my like buddy. That was my New York friend who I met at karaoke, who was a fucking lawyer, who really like wanted to be a rapper at some point, and I fully supported him and went to all his shows around New York City. And he owned a BMW, and we used to drive around in his car, in his Beamer, and he would pick me up. At first he had a BMW, so he picked me up in his BMW SUV. Then he had a Mercedes. So we used to drive around New York City in his Mercedes. And like, I really wanted that person to love me in the way I loved him, but he couldn't for, reasons I will not disclose. But his name was Marshall as well. And love that guy. Wish that he wasn't a Trump supporter, but otherwise love him. Anyway, so Jacqueline talks about the difference between these two guys. She talks about
Wait.
oh, go ahead. You're
Who do you
frozen
think
on
he
my
looks
end.
like, babe?
It's hilarious.
Who do you think he looks like?
You have to watch the episode because they say it in the episode, so you haven't gotten to that part yet.
Okay. Okay.
Watch it, you'll see.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, we talk about Jax and Jacquelina and her love affair with two guys. At first, we hear in episode 1 that she's with JP, Josh, and Marshall, but by the time it's episode 2, it's definitely just Josh and Marshall. She talks about Josh and how he's a smack talker. He has a strong masculine vibe, talks about taking care of her when she's scared in her apartment. And then we have Marshall, who talks about being bullied for his emotion. And Jacquelina talks about how she had a Roomba named Marshall, so it was meant to be. And Marshall is like really like, to me, like Jacquelina is definitely in her 20s, because by the time you get to your 30s, your mid 30s, you realize that you want the guy that has empathy. You want the guy who wants to do right by his children. And Marshall talks about wanting to do right by his kids, and so does Jacquelina. She says that her parents were strict, and therefore, it made her uncomfortable having detailed conversations with him about her life, which is like, what happens when parents are trying to do the right thing, and they miss the opportunity to have like strong relationships with their children because they're too busy trying to like set an example. And he talks about how his father, wasn't the kindest to him when it came to math and certain skills in his life. And it just ended up making him have lots of anxiety. And he doesn't want to be like that with his kids. So, it was really nice kind of having these two talk about these things together.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like they connect in such a way, and as Wa said, the editors let us know that by really not having any sort of real conversations between Jose and Jax. I mean, not enough to hang a hat on, like not enough to like make us feel like they're supposed to be together, right?
Yeah, his name is definitely Josh, but we can call him Jose if you want to.
Oh, my fault. Anyway, so many names. So sorry. It's only episode 2. And obviously, let's be honest. We'll see what happens. I'll kill you. Why are you laughing at me? I hate you. Wow. At least put yourself on mute and give me some dignity. At least put yourself on mute and give me some dignity. So rude. So, listen, then we have Brett who comes back, and Tiffany has to like beg forgiveness to King Brett. And Tiffany's wearing like this gorgeous coral outfit, like he can't see it, but he should be able to feel that energy. It's bright and it's forgiving, or it's forgivable. She is glowing, as almost as if she used head to toe Luna oil by Sunday Riley. So guess what? He forgives her, because we haven't seen anyone else he's been talking to. So we know that there's no one else for him to pick. So yes, I hear ya. Yeah, he proposes to Tiffany. Oh, that's what happens. Yeah, he proposes to Tiffany, and that's her reaction. Yes, I hear ya. And then we have to have Micah finally cut the cord that is Kwame or Alex. You can call him whatever you want. He really cares little about it. So he has a really dry reaction. Listen, he has been obviously obsessedy westies with her, and he has the fallback of Chelsea. And Chelsea has been his ride or die, slow burn rock, and he has appreciated all the validation that she's given him, and he has begged Micah to just give him a little. And the moment that she was like, well, I just wouldn't put all your eggs in Chelsea's basket already. And he was like, well, can I just marry you now? And she was like, oh, no. No. Just no, hi, red light. But anyway, so basically now after playing him and playing her dude, Paul, she has made the decision that Kwame is not it. So she has to let him go. And his reaction is, okay, cool. Thanks for letting me know. Hey, it's been real. Have a great rest of your night. Bye. Which is, here's the thing. I understand it because I know what it's like to have to make decisions the moment when you are traumatized and barely hanging on. And the best option is go full HR. And Kwame is incredibly intelligent. He speaks very, he can do that. He can go into that kind of almost scared, get me the hell out of this situation without being weird, and just I do that too. Well,
yeah, I do it too. I think it's a very fair thing to do. I have done it several times. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the time that we spent together. And I think that the time that I spent with you, I will not forget. And I thank you and I wish you all the best. Thank you for providing me that feedback. Thank you.
I have a card if you want it. If you want to fit, no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but it is word choice and tone, and it is get me out of this situation while you understanding that I'm 100% okay, because someone who is not 100% okay wouldn't be able to have this tone and this levity. So thank you so much. I'm good. I'm running on all the cylinders. And you missed out, but there is that. Yeah.
I'm professional. And thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
went into that. And then she went back to Irina and was like, it was so weird. He just kind of said goodbye and thank you for your time. I'm like, is it weird, bitch?
Because she wanted him to be like, my God, Micah, don't leave me. Please don't ever leave without your door. She wants so badly to have a real thing, because her and Irina are cut from the same cloth, insecure as the day is long, and wanting toxic drama to feed off, to feel something other than I always say the word profound, but in this word, profound insecurity and hole that they have, that they are not enough and are not pretty enough or not enough.
Yep. Anyway. Yeah. Yep. I mean, we're going to see throughout these couple episodes how just terrible Irina and Micah are, especially when Paul breaks up with Amber. Yeah. So
yeah. Oh yeah, that was true. So yeah, you're right. So listen, basically, Kwame's upset because he loves himself some Micah. He's decided Micah is it, and then and he's been deciding. I don't know if there's a connection as strong in this whole series as the one-sided connection Kwame has to Micah. So he's crying, and then let me just also point out some things in the living. And I'll just tell you this right now: if you're watching on Patreon, for some reason this computer, once I start muting myself, and my camera switches between Zoom and not Zoom. That's just what happens. God bless it. So in the boys' center room, they have these plush, green velvet blankets. They just like, you could just like cozy up. Is there a fireplace? Not needed, honey. The warmth is coming from the blanket. Okay, God bless. In the girls section, they have those kind of like they're like Mexican yoga blankets, but they're like super itchy and they're thin, thin, thin. I have them. It's just quite a diff, and I feel like those boys should have those blankets, and those girls should have those plush velvet green ones. What?
I can't recall the design aesthetic. I do know that Kwame went back and cried and hit the crook of his elbow. He went back and he's like, and Brett is like, Brett is fully watching this, being like, "Oh, I'm glad that isn't my story," because
Yeah.
the next episode we have is that he proposes to her and she says yes. So they're our official first couple that we see on our version of the edit that they put there for us. And so then we've got Paul. I have the note here that says, "How's Paul and Amber?" So all I could assume is that Chris meant that that Micah comes back and has a conversation with Irina, and this is after Paul has the conversation with Amber, and Amber is fully in the room, like, hey boo, hey boo, who's gonna marry me? Hey, we're getting along the best. I love you so much. And then Paul's like, yeah, I just wanted to talk to you because, and Amber's like, are you breaking up with me? Like, shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And she is quiet the entire time that Paul is taking his time to break up with her, talking about he has a stronger connection with somebody else. And she's like, oh, you do? Stronger than the awesome tasticness that has been happening between me and you? And the truth is Chris, here's I don't understand exactly what happened between Paul and Micah, but I feel like Paul and Micah made a pact within themselves that they were going to get on this show. And when they got the slightest hint that they might not be on the show, that they just went into some kind of protect mode and made a pact with each other. What do you think?
Oh, you had me on bated breath to find out what it was. Okay, so I think Micah just of course wanted to be on the show and wanted to be on the show with probably who like the best guy was for her, and so she had to leverage certain guys or whatever. And I don't know what these men hear when they hear Micah's voice that is like a siren song to them that they really connect with, because to hear these men talk about their connection with Micah in this room when that's the voice coming out of that is just like, you're all fools. So it's a little bit that thing that I feel like if you like Micah, if you hear that voice and you hear that person talk for hours in a pod and you're attracted to that, in my heart, hey, why don't you zoom in? This is like God is directing this, okay? Then let
Stop. I
me
have
tell
to
you,
edit all this. Stop it.
then I'm not doing anything, babe.
No, I know. You remarking on the zoom in means that I have to edit it out so that the people who are
All
listening.
right. All right. So basically, you can't be trusted if you like that kind of person. Period. The end. You cannot be trusted. I don't know how you live your life. I don't care who Paul is. He's a weird scientist. He's kind of cute, but he like says he just is. I can't trust that man if you're like, that's it for me. So basically, Paul is that. And the way he talks to Amber and he's like, Amber, what's best for me is what's best for you. Because what he's saying is what's best for me will only be best for you because I'll be happier. You know what I'm saying? Which is like, I think his version of saying that, but it's just so weird. And her just being like, fuck you, Paul, was perfect. It made me like Amber a lot. Amber's also wearing a green Herve Leisure bandage gown, and she won't be the last one that wears. For some reason, these bandage gowns came back. I mean, they're in different colors on the show. Like, the show's fashion is going to like be across the board for me horrible, but a lot of them revolve around, and there's some standout winners, I'll tell you. But I mean, or by winners, I mean just like people that are better, but in moments. But basically, the bandage gowns are back, as well as pink is Barbie pink everywhere. You know, Barbie pink had a full on moment in TikTok life and in the fashion aesthetic life. And it obviously is the exact time in which this Love is Blind season is happening. It's everywhere. All the girls, all the pink. Chelsea, Honey, Tiffany, babes. They love it. So, here's the thing. So Amber's crying and Micah's relieved, you know, because she sees Amber, you know, she knows what that means, you know, which is that Paul, you know, picks her. And then Paul talks to Kwame and because Kwame knows that Paul is Micah's choice. So it's like messy, messy, messy. It feels like Chekhov a little bit, but that's just like me putting like a grand thing on like a thing that's not as grand or whatever, God bless. And they have a conversation about who's the villain in the story. And I wish the whole time they'd be like, it's Irina. Oh, Irina. You don't know. Wait till you watch it. You think like, you know, Paul's like, I'm the villain or whatever. And, you know, like Kwame's like, you are the villain. And I'd be like, Irina's the villain. You guys don't even know what's happening. Guys are so dumb. That's why women are smarter. And women are the best villains. That's why, you know, like all the Disney villains are the best villains. Anyway, we know that. So I just wrote in here, Kwame heard Micah's voice and was like, that's my soulmate. What? It's just fascinating that Kwame heard Micah and was like, there's my queen, there's my forever queen, that voice that it's like Christine from Phantom of the Opera. It's Ariel from Little Mermaid. It's like, what is that voice? It's like, Micah's voice is that voice for you? You're crazy. You're good. I'm glad I know this about you, to know that like you have no discerning qualities whatsoever. You are not to be trusted, honey. That's bananas. I mean, so now we're gonna have, since Brett obviously proposed to Tiffany, and you know that's what's happening. They're going to have their proposal. Do you want to start talking?
She's wearing a orange dress, and he's wearing like white and like linen, and they run towards each other. They like each other. It's very obvious. He's into that ass, and we're here for it. I will say that I feel like Micah chose Paul because she realized that Paul was black. I mean, that Paul wasn't black. I think that Kwame was black. I think that she truly felt like, maybe I can't bring home a black guy. So I'm going to start off this experiment, you know, seeming like, yes, I want to be with a black guy, because there was absolutely no reason for her to not choose Kwame.
Yeah, like you feel like their conversation was much more like flowing and natural.
Yeah. And I really do feel like Kwame didn't make up the connection between him and Amber. I mean, Micah.
Yeah.
I'm getting all these names mixed up. I'm sorry.
No.
But like, he didn't make it up. He didn't make up that connection. I think she got scared, because the truth is that Kwame was into her and she knew that. And then when he said to her, like, hey, you know, there's somebody else who tells me what they want and tells me that they love me and they reassure me. She's like, oh, she guessed it. She's like, yeah, that person reassures you. Yeah, but it's because it isn't real that it's too easy. It's that shit. So she chose Paul, I think, because she knew she couldn't bring Kwame home. Because why wouldn't you bring Kwame? Especially, you know, when we see in the latter episodes that she's like, yeah, I still am here for you. I still like you. I still want to be your confidant or whatever. No. You know? So Kwame, yeah. So it really is like a definitely F you, Paul, from an Amber perspective. Now, part of me is like, and this is the shady single bitch in me, but part of me is like, Amber, you've had 2 opportunities. Oh. You've had 2 marriages. I mean, I'm not saying you don't deserve to be on the show. I'm not saying you don't deserve to find love. But like, okay. Like, I don't know, girl. I don't know. I feel bad for Amber, but not as bad as I feel for Paul for making the wrong choice.
Well, I don't, you know, here's the thing. I think that Bliss lucked out.
You're one of the people who think that. A lot of people think that.
Wait. I can't. That's a spoiler. God damn it. We might have to edit that out. Let me just First of all,
No, I'm
God
not
bless.
editing anything out, but your call outs of the zooming in of your laptop.
Okay, well, I just okay. So I made a mistake. I'm sorry,
It's
my love.
fine.
So
Though
listen,
let me tell you right now, whoever is listening to this has already watched the whole thing.
the whole thing.
Yeah, Chris, let me tell you, people are on this. Whoever is listening to this right now has already watched. By the time this gets up, they've watched all of the 5 episodes that dropped tonight. So they've seen 10 episodes thus far. We're
Okay.
late. We're late to the game.
Okay.
So
mhm.
so we move forward where Paul and what's her face get together, and it turns out that Kwame finds out that Paul has chosen Micah, and you know, Kwame realizes that Paul is the villain in his story.
Yeah.
It's crazy that they all are into Micah. I feel like it's just like white supremacy at its finest, because there is nothing about Micah that makes me think that she is half the woman that Chelsea is. Like, Chelsea is a far better choice. Someone who's interesting, someone who knows how to match her earrings to her outfit, who understands earrings. Like, I'm here for it. So then we go back to Marshall and Jack, and Marshall is reading poetry, which Jax eats all up. She's like, dang, now I have to go back to my boyfriend and tell him that I want to break up with him. And Marshall's like, yeah, break up with everybody because it's all about me. Then they do some kind of cup ping pong or like whatever college game. And I don't know who it is that says this, but they're like, I'm in love with you. Who is that who says that?
Let me think. I'm so sorry.
Um,
Okay, yeah. It's like someone says that and then someone replies,
oh, I don't know who it is.
Oh gosh. I should have wrote who's playing cup pong? I'm in love with you.
That's such a shitty
I
thing to say. Whoever said it, first of all, it's such a shitty thing to say.
gosh darn it. I'm so sorry, my loves. I wrote this note down. I forgot. Wait,
And
who? It's the
Chris
same
writes,
thing, I guess.
here's the notes. Chris writes, Matt, he's mad at the other dude, spelled Dood. Like, here's the truth. I hate the way Chris spells dude. Dood is like the bane of my existence. But anyways, I'm
Okay,
gonna throw up.
we're still talking about Marshall and Jacqueline. So
I'm
that's
gonna
what
throw
happened. They're playing. Listen, no, shut up. They're playing cup pong. Okay, they're playing cup pong. It's still Marshall and Jacqueline. He says, "I'm in love with you," and she goes,
Well,
which
is this the part where she's like, well, then I guess I have to break up with Josh, or like Josh
no. So
told?
then,
Okay,
yes, this is what leads into her being like, so it's cute that you said I love you. Let me also tell you that I had a date, and he said that if it's not him, that he was going to pack his bags. And Marshall gets crazy, and Jacqueline starts crying, and then he's like, "Oh no, I'm not mad at you. No, I'm not mad at you. It's not you, babe. I'm mad at the other guy. I call him dude." And she's like, I'm just gonna go like throw up. I just like I'm so upset, and she just is like truly upset. And then he goes back to she goes back to the lounge, and he's like, yeah, take all the time you need, babe. I'm gonna handle like what I need to do, like my business. And we're like, what the hell's gonna happen? He's gonna like go march into the men's quarters and be like, who is the traitor, or whatever.
And he does.
But he doesn't like, he goes in and he's just like steaming, like I think Brett sees him. Brett for some reason is always like around, like Brett's like always like eating something in the kitchen, like like, and that type of person is always funny to me in a reality show, because like in Big Brother, just as to cross-pollinate, I love that kind of person's faces when they're on Big Brother, because just watching someone like in a kitchen react to someone walking in a state, it just, I don't know, it fills me with glee. Well,
yeah, no. So Marshall walks in and he's like, yeah. So he's talking to Brett or Kwame, one of them, and he's like, yeah. So apparently, but really, what he's instead of him being like, apparently, someone has told Jacqueline that they were gonna leave. He's like, somebody told my girl that they're gonna pack up their bags and just leave if she doesn't choose that person. And all I'm saying is that I didn't know anybody else was feeling Jacqueline. So someone in this space is lying. Someone in this space is has heard me talk about Jacqueline and heard me pour my heart out and hasn't
Mm-hmm.
said shit to me. And
Mm-mm.
then Josh is like, "Oh, are you?" Josh comes up. Are you talking about me? And Marshall's like, "Well, maybe, maybe I am talking about you. Are you the one who told Jacqueline that you would just pack up your shit if she didn't choose you?" And he's like, "Um, yeah, that was me." And Marshall's like, "Well, what the fuck, bro?" And here's the truth. Like, I think that from the outside, Marshall puts up a huge front, like he's this like all American, like all this like machismo man. But to me, Marshall is the one who has all the strong emotions and who will fight for you audibly. And in
Mm-hmm.
that moment, that's exactly what he did. So there was this like standoff between Josh and Marshall. And I don't know what happened, but Marshall goes back in and Josh doesn't win. For spoiler alert.
Yeah, like
Spoiler alert.
yeah, not even close. Like Jacqueline, like for all of her dramatic reaction to this, it somehow gets turned or transformed inside her to this is the man that's for me. He cares about me. He's a man. I need this kind of energy in my life, like that he claims me or whatever, or that is it like is a switch. Okay.
I have a
So,
question. Is this the
yes.
episode where Frick and Frack end up kikiing with each other over Amber's pain?
Irina smiling is hilarious.
Is this the episode where Frack tells Frick to go over and listen to the conversation that Amber and Chelsea are having in the like workout room?
Yeah, it would have to be about Micah though. So Chelsea, so it must be
Yeah, so in this episode, this is the episode where Paul breaks up with Amber. And Amber
yeah.
goes back into the women's room and she is crying. She's bawling. And Chelsea comes and supports her. And she's like in the women's space and like bending over. And she's like upset because Paul has broken up with her when she was like so sure that her and Paul had like a really great relationship. And Micah sends Irina over to like listen to the conversation between Amber and Chelsea. And Irina's like giggling and like shimmies up against the wall and puts her ear to the wall. And then when she realizes that Chelsea and Amber hear her, she's like, "Oh my God, abort mission, abort mission." And she like scrambles back to Micah. And it is like fully established that this is like absolute mean girl behavior because Micah is like acting like she's not a mean girl and she's like, I feel bad, go and listen to what they're saying, I want to know what they're saying. But like Irina's like fully in mode of like being a straight asshole.
Yeah, it's so classic. Okay, it's classic Queen Bee and the sidekick, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I mean, like, and it's weird because when you see it in action, it's like every characterization that you've seen where it's like a dominant one and one that's less secure, but both are insecure. It's just the way that they manifest that's different. And there's also a codependent relationship involved. And like, I mean, it's all what it is. So it's just an
Yep.
interesting thing that happens between some women. Anyway, so some girls talk about is there something wrong with them, and well, I think this is Bliss and Chelsea, and if there's something wrong with them, they'll just freeze eggs and wait for 50,
Yep.
and be duplex mommies,
Yep.
and just so interesting how that is just what the options are nowadays. And yeah, you know what, they're better than other options, honestly,
Yep.
back in the day for women. So
Yep.
progress.
Absolutely. Bliss and
um
Bliss is crying, and Chelsea's like, "Listen, I'll just like." And the thing is, though, it's hilarious because they're like both in their 20s. Like neither of them are in their late 30s having these like crisis. They're in their 20s. Like, oh, maybe I'll just be duplex mommies. Like, girl, you still have 10 years. Like, calm down. Freeze your eggs for sure. Freeze your eggs for sure. Like that's my advice for anybody in their 20s who thinks that they might want to have children. If you have money, I know I'm saying that as from a place of privilege because the truth is that in my late 20s, I would not have had the money to freeze my eggs because it was expensive. But hopefully by the time you're in your late 20s, it's enough to freeze your eggs and like hold it, because like pay for the space, because that's the thing, you can freeze your eggs, but then you have to like pay yearly for someone to like hold your eggs.
Yes, but I think that you don't. I think that you don't have to adhere to WA saying late 20s. If you are in your 30s and you haven't done it, it's not too late. Anyway,
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's too late. I'm just saying like
I know.
if you're
But
these
if you like,
girls
if
in
you're
your 20s, do it.
yes, but if you're in your 30s too, God bless, do it.
So yeah, like I hopefully it's not as expensive as it was when I was in my 20s. So then Paul and and Micah get engaged. Everybody like surrounds Paul in the like men's space, and Kwame's like off to the corner, like being like, whatever the fuck, this is stupid. And then then Paul, no, sorry, then Chelsea and Kwame end up having like a little moment where like he's like, are you sure you're for me? So then they have their like solidify their relationship, which is like nice. But we all know that it's Kwame's like second choice, which sucks for Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Paul thinks that he makes the right choice, and Micah's like, oh, that's so cute, I'm so happy. And so Paula says something like, I feel like I'm in the presence of the sun. And the rest of us are like, how basic are you, Paul?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I made this on comparison on Instagram, but Micah to me looks just like Kayla from Love is Blind, except with
Mhm.
eyelash extensions and hair extensions.
Yep.
And Kayla responded that she agrees. Yeah, like the Chelsea thing makes me sad because, and we know we don't see things from the editing floor, but I guess I wonder for other people and people like Chelsea, like, were there other connections that you had? Because it always feels like Chelsea feels that she was just like, you're it for me. It's me and you, Kwame. I'm 100% for you. Almost to the point where she's kind of like, not a pick me girl, like girls are different. I'm different. It's almost like she's just like, I'm for you. I'll do nothing. I'll do everything for you. Like, it's me and you. Like, I'm so into you. And it's just like, it's it makes it so that she has no power in the relationship, and Kwame feels that he can really just like bring her along as he goes for his star, and when he doesn't get a star he can put in a stand-in. It's like, so anyway, God bless. But yeah, Paul's obsessed with Micah. They're gonna have a zesty life together, and then we get to Bliss. Now here's the thing, it's Paul's birthday. Okay, no, it's wait, what? You want to
Zach's
say something?
birthday.
It's Zach's birthday. Sorry, so sorry. You're right. I knew I said it wrong, but then I was like, I just want you to say it. I forgot. I haven't said Zach's name in so long. So Zach is a person that we know as being, for some reason, someone that talks to Irina, which we know like is hilarious.
He's the son of a stripper, and he's a criminal defense lawyer.
Okay, so it's his birthday, and he's been playing Bliss and playing her. So Irina. So Bliss is baking cupcakes, and Irina sees this and she's like, oh fuck, like I didn't do anything for his birthday. And she goes up to her and she's like, hey, like, can I just like have one of your candles? And Bliss, I am so happy because she's on television. She could have just been like awkward or whatever and be like, but she was just like, that doesn't make me feel comfortable. Kind of feels a little gross. So no. But it made me so happy because there's been so many times in my life where I think that I have gotten like either super anxious in the moment and like, sure.
Yeah.
Like where it's just like, and then for the entirety of the rest of my life, I'll be like, God damn it, God damn it, God damn it, God. And like, because here's the thing, another thing, this is an Instagram quote, but resentment means that you did not honor one of your boundaries. And that like kind of resentment would just been like me being like, I could have easily been like, no.
Yes. And for me, it's the opposite, is that not only do I say no, but I say fuck you, and then I tell everybody about it. So like that's my toxic trait, is that I will fully say no and be like, no, but then not only will I tell everybody about it, but they will too. So I'll come off as being this like raging mean bitch who didn't want to like give the candle. So like, yeah, Bliss was good in that moment to say it, that she felt weird about it. And then she goes into the like, Irina goes into the pods and talks to him and is like, oh my god, I fucking forgot your birthday. And then Bliss comes in and is like, here's some fucking cake. And for whatever reason, Bliss just feels like she has this relationship with Zach and she can trust him, but in this moment, she shouldn't fucking trust him. And she tells him that she doesn't trust Irina and that Irina asked her for a fucking candle and she was like, I don't want this negativity. And at this point, this is the first time he is hearing any shit talk about Irina. And so it it makes her look like she's being the negative Nancy and talking shit about another girl because Irina doesn't mention anything about it. And so that's what we know. And then he's like, Bliss says, if you like her, you trust her, then I would judge you. And I think that puts Zach on the defense because he does like Irina, because he recognizes that they come from his mind, similar backgrounds. And so she's somebody that he wants to protect. And that's what kind of fucking ruins it for Bliss. And she's
or
right.
not, or saves her, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, or saves her. And I just feel like if we can lean into her telling her truth, made it so he showed her what kind of guy he was. Not for her. Bliss, I know, is watching this being like, I dodged it, honey. I dodged it. I dodged it.
I don't know. I just don't
is.
think you can judge a guy based on his choice in women, especially if he doesn't know any better. He's going for Irina for pure reasons, not for Micah reasons. Like, he's not the reason why he's going after Irina is not for the reason why Paul is going after Micah or Kwame is going after Micah.
Okay. Overall, I guess you're not supposed to judge people. Overall, you're not supposed to judge anyone, and I get that. But if you're going to judge people, I think a great way to judge them is based on who they surround themselves with.
Right, but he doesn't have any context of that. And that's what makes it unfortunate for him, is that he doesn't have the same context as Bliss, and he doesn't quite trust the person who brings him cupcakes versus the person who forgets about his fucking birthday. And that's the problem. To me, that's the problem. You pay attention to the person who remembers your birthday and makes you cupcakes. You don't pay attention to the asshole who doesn't remember and then comes in and is like, to be true though, I fucking forgot. That's the bitch you choose? You're crazy. So at the end of the episode, we have we circle back with Jacquelina, and Jacquelina chooses to not go with Josh. She says that Marshall is the person that she needs to be with, the person who will make her grow. And so he's happy about that.
Yeah, and our couples are coupling up, they are conscious coupling,
Yep.
They should absolutely call an episode Conscious Coupling. Anyway, always looking for those episode titles. All right, my loves. Well, we gotta keep on for the next ep because we have a lot more to go. But it's fun. It's a great season so far. So if you want to follow us on Instagram and other social medias, you're welcome to do so. Instagram is @DocuSweeties. Twitter is @DocuSweeties1, and Twitter is not just everything. It's also something that Elon Musk owns, and there used to be something also called TikTok, and we'll see if that still exists in the USA. And until those moments happen, we'll continue to pretend that we have a TikTok, and it's @DocuSweeties. What?
Oh my God, I'm so sad about TikTok. But anyways, you can see the visuals of what's been tickling your eardrums at patreon.com/DocuSweeties. We put the episode up immediately. So if you are around on Friday, 11:18 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 9:18 p.m. Central Standard Time, or 12 a.m. on the 1st, happy April Fool's Day. It's 12:18 Eastern Time. You will get the visuals of what you are listening to right now, and we are happy for you. All right, you guys, we will talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.